What's up, everybody? Today we're checking out the new album, Salvation Laughs in the Face of a Grieving Mother by the band Psycho Frame. This is the debut album from the insanely heavy deathcore band. They do have EPs that are kind of like hidden gems, to say the least, and they will take you back to the early 2000s to even into the late 2000s of the deathcore era. And diving into this new LP, we see that they are staying true to that. If we look at the opening track, Blueprints for Idol Genocide, it opens up with a gurgly growl and a voiceover from Resident Evil 7. The blast beats just come in hard with a chunky, aggressive guitar riff, and the vocals are otherworldly, going from guttural growls to really, honestly, like high-pitched screams and vocal fries. It matches the violent lyrics that are aggressive, but also manage to not be cringy, which is a really hard thing to do. The breakdown is like a punch in the throat. I listened to this song, honestly, 5 times before I moved on, because it's absolutely amazing. Each time I had my mouth open in disbelief, and possibly for other reasons. Inverted Spear of Heaven is even more chaotic and angry, as the verses have a hefty drum passage and a riff that's reminiscent of the MySpace deathcore days. It becomes a jumbled mess. Building up into the chorus, it's groovy and heck. Another track that I just had to keep going back and listening to over and over again. Even during the review, I couldn't contain myself. I had to just keep listening to it constantly. It was tough. This was a good album to listen to, but I mean, I listened to each track a lot more than I really needed to, if I'm going to be honest. Then we have the song The Portal, which reminds me of Job for a Cowboy, with its super shreddy intro and the drums that just completely go off, which to me, the drums are a huge standout in this song. They do a lot throughout all the instrumentation is insane, but to me the drums stood out a lot more, specifically probably in the mix than anything else in the song, and the bridge makes you want to throw fists just because of its rhythm. Black Wave 2 has more of a death metal vibe to it, with its dynamic riff and unrelenting drums. It makes me feel like I was listening to Thy Art's Hate album. The bass kicks you in the chest as it goes into the breakdown. It also has a feature in it from Mood Ring. I'm not really sure who that is. It's really hard to tell where the feature part is as well. And honestly, I don't really care, because it's such a powerful song, you will forget that there's even a feature in this. It doesn't really matter. It's just so good all the way through. And then we have the song Apocalypse through Lysergic Possession, which shows off their technical skills once again, specifically in the intro, ushering in the rise and takeover of Satan at the end of the world. It almost feels like an Infant Annihilator song, but it's not quite as over the top, and it's a lot easier to listen to. But the random lead sections that pop up here and there just give it an extra like menacing layer to this song, and not to mention all the heavy riffs all the way through as well. Endless and Genial Devotion has a dissonant riff in the chorus, along with a quick drum section that will put a smile on your face. Again, the drums are so good throughout this entire album. The rhythm is so addicting, you'll want to keep going back to this song too. It goes in and out a few times. Like, it goes from being really crazy and kind of disorientating, and then all of a sudden the rhythm comes in and it all just lines up perfectly, and you can start banging your head, and then all of a sudden it goes back to being crazy. And the transitions in there are smooth without you even really knowing it. I guess that's kind of what makes them smooth. But at the same time, it's just cool because it just keeps going back to it. So it's like, I don't know, it's just a wild ride. And then we have the song I Won't Be There to Watch You Go. This is just a quick, like, minute 49-second track. I believe that's how long it is. And it plays through like a short horror film. The lyrics are brutal. It's got tons of squealing guitars, and it just flies right by. It separates pretty much the first half from the back half of the album, and I would say the brutality does not stop here. And then we have Filleted and Effed. I'm not going to say the actual word for YouTube reasons, but also because this is a family channel. Come on. This sounds like a Cannibal Corpse song, not just in title, but in sound as well. The lyrics describe the scene in which the title implies, and also the mix just makes us feel more in your face. It feels more aggressive, and that's kind of a Cannibal Corpse-y kind of thing as well. It only lets up to create space as it goes into the breakdown. Otherwise, it just punches you all the way through. It feels super raw as well because it's so in your face, which I enjoyed quite a bit. And then we have Stillwater Salvation, which brings back, again, the death metal vibes. The lead guitar adds some really colorful licks that just kind of pop up every once in a while. Basically, like every type of transition that they do has like this really cool guitar sweep thrown in there. They transition to like an early 2000s deathcore sound, and it makes you want to just stomp around your room. They let the music breathe at the end so you can kind of take it all in, but at the same time, it feels like, it feels like you're watching a horror movie, and when you get to the end and the music just plays for a little bit longer without any vocals or anything, it kind of, you kind of become aware of how tense you are listening to this. God is Busy kind of reminds me of like, it's like a Knocked Loose hardcore kind of sound, but with way better vocals. I am somebody who is not a Knocked Loose fan specifically because of the vocals, but if you take that music, you make it a little bit heavier, honestly, and throw some really good vocals in there, this is what you get. Everything in this song is dedicated to the rhythm. I know that's kind of weird to say, but if you listen to it, you feel it. Like, things spiral out of control after the first breakdown, but the rhythm is still there. It has this feel of just being like a product of a bunch of jam sessions where like just the bass and the drums are just carrying everything, and then like the guitars, everything comes in. It's just a really good like jam session kind of song, specifically the vocals and the bridge as well. It's just like a free-for-all, and it sounds so freaking good. And then we have the closing track, Narrow Terror, which finishes the album off in a slam technical kind of way. It's the longest song on the album, being just barely over 4 minutes, and I feel like they use that time very well. They fill it up as much as they can. The vocals are pushed harder. There's a lot more energy thrown in this song, it feels like. The tempos are all over the place, and the blast beats give you palpitations. I just wish that they had a little bit more technicality thrown in, just because the little guitar sweeps are so freaking good. You just want a little bit more. Every time you hear it, like my ears would perk up. And I'm like, ooh, I want more of that. And they never give it to you. They hold back. And that's what makes you want to keep going back and listening to songs, honestly. It sounds great. It's easy to go overboard with that sort of thing, too. But it's just, I just want more. So I guess the only answer is just go back and just keep listening to this album over and over again. Holy crap. This being a debut album is insane. They made things very hard for themselves, because everyone is going to compare this album to anything they do afterwards, any of their future efforts. And this is like album of the year material. It's going to be really hard to outdo themselves, and it's going to be hard for anybody else to outdo them, honestly. This is like top tier deathcore, mixing old school stuff with the modern stuff, the dueling vocals. It's just so back and forth. The themes are brutal, but again, not cringy. It's just, they say what's on their mind. They use metaphors, but at the same time you get it. It's not super artsy fartsy. The random guitar sweeps, again, are just so beautiful. This is, I don't know, between Shadow of Intent and Whitechapel, this one's up there. It is definitely up there. So I got to give Salvation Laughs in the Face of a Grieving Mother by Psychoframe a 9.1 out of 10. But I want to know what you guys think. I have a feeling this band probably hasn't been listened to by a lot of people because they're still fairly unknown with their debut album and all that whatnot. So give this album a listen. If you're into deathcore, I mean, this is gonna make you happy. It's gonna put a smile on your face and give you goosebumps and make you feel all kinds of warms and fuzzy things that you want in your deathcore. So yeah, leave a comment below. Let me know what you thought of the album. Let me know what you rate it and what your favorite song is. Also, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like. It helps us so much with YouTube's algorithm. If you want to continue seeing my videos, it's the best way to help my videos continue to pop up in your recommended section. And of course, you could always ring the bell icon and subscribe. That way you get notifications and all that fun stuff as well. Doing any of those things helps me out tremendously. You have no idea how much it does for my channel. Even just giving a video like, it pushes it to other people who like the same kind of thing that you do, and it does a lot for me, especially my ego. And I just thank you guys so much for taking time out of your day to listen to me sit here and talk about music. And I hope you have a good rest of your day or night, whenever you have been watching this, and I will talk to you guys next time.